What's up, man? It's your boy, Coach Booker, man. Hey, listen, y'all know how committed we are to youth football, youth sports, man, in Charlotte, North Carolina, man. A lot of guys don't even know the history of youth football, man. But we in Mecklenburg County, man, goes way deeper than the last 2, 3 years, of course. Some of the stuff you see now, man, these guys have no idea of the groundbreaking that some of the pioneers, some of the guys who actually made this happen, that actually paved the way for them to do what they're doing right now, man. We got some pioneers, man. We got some guys, man, that's some grassroots guys, man, from the communities here in Charlotte, man. Today, man, what we committed to doing right now. We're gonna catch up with some OGs, man. We're gonna dig a little deeper into the history of Charlotte youth football, man. We're gonna catch up with some of the OGs, man, who got this thing started, man. One of the original OGs, man. So today, man, the first OG we're gonna catch up with. We got a series that we're gonna do with different OGs, youth football, man. But today, man, we caught up with one of the original OGs, man. We could say back 20 years ago at least. He was still in the game a little bit later after that too, man. But we caught up with him. We caught up with him, man. Oh no, it's been a while. Y'all know him, man. It's my man. My man Osei in the building, man. Northeast Dolphins. What's up, boy?
Man, what's up? I know I got the gray now because I ain't had this.
I still got a little Beijing in mine, just a little bit.
I had the ponytail and the whole nine.
All up.
Oh yeah, I had the ponytail, man, straight hair and everything.
Yeah, man. I really didn't even know anything about where the Northeast Dolphins was. I knew you guys was, an iconic organization. I knew you guys had a lot of kids. Y'all had a lot of cheerleaders. Y'all had a lot of activity going. But I never take me back right now to where all this shit started, right?
But really, I was thinking while I was sitting here, I'm not even gonna take you here. I'm gonna take you over there to Alma Road Middle School, where the concept came from. We played with, I want to say, Pop Warner first. My son was in Pop Warner, PAL, and that's Willie. That's my middle son. And then we was with CMEC with the Titans over there at Alma Road Middle School.
Right.
And so I'm coming from New York, right? So I talked to Derek after a minute or two. Yo, I want to start my own program. Do I know anything about youth football or starting an organization? No. But I wanted to bring New York down here.
Right.
So my main thing was to bring New York down. So he didn't have anything available. So I want to say about mid-July, he said, Osei, I got a team for you. During this time, there was a Dolphin team that was ran by somebody else, and they broke off and started their own program.
Oh, okay.
He said, I got a Dolphin program. You want it? I'm like, yo, I'm behind the 8-ball. Everybody else is doing their thing, recruiting, so on and so forth. So I said, yeah, I'm with it. I can get the Giants? Nah, I got Dolphin uniforms. All right, cool. I had to find my own practice field and the whole nine. So here in this area during the time, there was no football.
Right.
I knew the Steelers were on the other side of the tracks. Yeah, the Panthers a little bit further down, but there was nobody here to deal with the community issues that we had here.
Yeah.
On this side.
Absolutely.
I had a home over here at Bradfield Farms. We have the most historical landmark community here in Charlotte, which was all Black community, right here on Harrisburg Road. But I started the Dolphins. He gave me that, paid my little fee, because back then you pay a fee to be a president.
When you talk about you pay who would you be? Let's talk about
CMEC.
So CMEC.
Starting with CMEC, Derek Greer. You pay a fee in order to be in that organization. It's about $900,000.
Right.
And he issued all the equipment, uniform and everything, give you the blueprint of how you're supposed to put together your program. And from him, I give him everything, no matter what people would say, but that was the blueprint for the Northeast Dolphins.
Right.
So I started off with 5 kids. 5 kids. And by the time we started the season, back then you had a JV and a varsity. So we started the season. We ended up pulling off a few kids here and there, but we lost the first 2 seasons. Never scored at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long road.
Yeah.
That's a lot of long days.
Yeah. Never scored anything. So with the Dolphins, I watched everybody else. You know, I'm a studier. I'll study and I'll figure out the format of how things are going to be. And I was like, oh, they doing this, they doing that. So I began recruiting. I had my wife, who was, if anything, at the end of the day, I would always, when I talk to coaches, make sure you got a support. You know, doing it by yourself, it's tough.
Oh yeah.
You know, so my wife handled the cheerleaders. I handled the football players. I still recruited even cheerleaders. Right there, my stomping ground. Everybody know if you want to find the Dolphins, me, I'm at Walmart. I'm going through the store. Yeah. And my main thing is
in the parking lot.
In the park? No, in the store. No, I'm gonna get you in the store. My wife used to get at me. Hey, you got to talk to every single kid. I knew no matter what when it came down to football, and I ain't no guru at football. I'm an artist. You know, my degree is in art. I pay a little high school thing there, and I'm also a businessman.
Right.
So I know about business. I know how to put things together. I know how to build the blocks.
So let me ask you this though. So since you say you was an artist, came up from New York City.
Yeah.
What inspired you to get into youth football and go to the level that you went on? What inspired it? Like
my son.
Okay.
I have 4 kids. My oldest daughter, my oldest son, which is little Osei, my middle son Willie, and my baby boy Zaire, which a lot of people know because growing up through Facebook. Willie, because when we were at Pop Warner, he began to get a little bit bigger. So then we moved over to CMEC. And I guess just like anyone else, if you feel like your kid wasn't getting a fair shake, you know, not saying that, you know, the Titans was good because Coach Shake and all of them, because during that time we had, what's your boy that played for the Giants and then played the Independence, a wide receiver?
Hakeem Nicks.
Hakeem Nicks came from the Titans.
Okay.
Youth football. And then Hakeem just so happened, he ended up training my oldest son to be a quarterback because Hakeem, before he was a wide receiver, he was a quarterback.
Yeah.
So he trained my son when he was 14 when we came from New York. But my middle son, Willie, I felt that he wasn't getting the fair shake. So that's why I was like, yo.
So you were originally in Pop Warner.
Yeah, Pop Warner, then CMEC. And so Willie, my son, was my inspiration.
Okay.
Because I wanted to help give him something. So, and I wanted to, when you're dealing with business, even though it's football, it's still business. This is something I can leave the kids at the end of the day, however grow into it. So, and he'll be here a little bit later, but I tell him all the time, yo, you at the Real Talk, after I had read everything, I had told him, we was up there shooting, you know, at the range. I said, you know what, Real Talk, you was the inspiration for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
You know, and so from there.
So let me ask you, now when you was coming through, you know, they got AYF now.
Yeah.
United. Pop Warner.
Right.
Back then, Pop Warner was the most notable youth organization when you first got here.
Right. And that's where we started.
That's how you started.
Yeah.
And then after that, I guess where I didn't get here till the early right at 2000. Right. So you was probably
I started the Dolphins in 04, 05.
04, 05.
So I used to watch you.
But
I heard about the Betty Ford Road.
So am I the real OG here or not?
You are.
Okay, all right.
I give you that all day.
No, but check it. I used to hear a lot about your group. Y'all was in the NCYFL?
No, we was just in CMEC. Just to give you a little bit of history.
Tell me about CMEC, because that's what I'm kind of confused about, even myself.
First you had Pop Warner. Then you had Curtis Leak. Okay. That started.
I heard about Curtis quite a bit.
NCYFL. Curtis is the father of Chris Leak.
Right.
And the oldest son. So because they were getting bigger, he started his own league. So out of that was NCYFL, because then he sold it to Rick Emmerich, which was NCYFL. Derek Greer and everyone was inside NCYFL.
Right.
Derek, when you talk about growth, you see something that you don't like, you want to do it yourself. So he got his stuff together, his finances together, because the Greer family, I didn't know during the time, was a well-known family in Charlotte,
Right.
with the funeral homes and everything.
Okay.
The mom and the dad with the daycares.
Okay.
You know, I find this out a little bit later. And
Derek Greer.
Derek Greer. Yeah.
I've heard that name too.
Yeah. So after me leaving Pop One, I went over here, and that was the Titans, which was a part of CMEC. I was never in NCYFL, but I just knew of them because of the relationship that Derek and them had with Rick. Disagreements or agreements or whatever, but at the end of the day, still love.
Good history. Good history.
And then from Derek, we were in CMEC for a few years. We lost, I want to say, damn near every game the first 2 seasons. And then let me back up a little bit. Even from out of CMEC, CMEC had a breakage also. You had a team that left, and they started up there in, not in High Point, but like past Mallet Creek. That was Cato. If you heard the name Cato, Cato started his own league from out of CMEC. And then another gentleman, he had the Falcons, and he ended up doing his own league, but he started with high school football. Nice skin, I forgot his name, but he was right down the street. He had started his own program, did really well.
So basically, you guys in the league that you guys were in, y'all kind of started the growth, the expansion.
Yeah, that's where it started.
So
and like,
it wasn't a bad thing.
No.
You know,
I think in all things, when you start to feel and see